Let's go back to the story about the alleged Israeli strike on a building in Damascus and try to speak again with our guest, Joseph Bahout from the American University of Beirut. Hello to you. I'm just wondering, since the war in Gaza has Israel's strikes in Syria, have those changed?
In fact, the strike that occurred this morning is both a continuity of something that we have been witnessing for years now over Syria, but there's also some new elements. The continuity is that, Israel is conducting what it itself calls the wars within wars. Which is a series of very targeted strikes in Syria or over Syria against Iranian targets or Iranian proxies. It has been going on, but the targets are variable in intensity and importance. Mainly, usually it's the airport or facilities where Iranians are channeling weapons. It's rare that they target high-level figures of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards themselves, which is the case this morning. So this is the new aspect. And this aspect, I think, has to do with two things. First of all, the new phase, what the Israelis are calling phase 3 of the war, which is lower intensity of battles against Gaza itself, but a higher, let's say, occurrence of targeted killings of figures like Hamas, a leader in Beirut a few weeks ago, like Hezbollah leaders in the south, like Hamas leaders in the south of Lebanon this morning, 2 people, I think, and also against very high-level Iranian operatives in Damascus. We had someone killed 3 weeks ago. Today, it's another one. So this is one aspect. It's the targeted killing that is in fact a substitute by Netanyahu for what is increasingly perceived as a failing strategy against Gaza itself. But then you have another aspect of thing that has to do probably with the strike that Iran itself conducted against an alleged Mossad target in Kurdistan 3 or 4 days ago, where it supposedly hit a nest of Israeli spies also. So I think that with this, the scope of the war, which is a low to middle intensity warfare between Iran and Israel, mainly about, through targeted assassination, is widening through the region. And this is probably something that could become worrying and dangerous with time.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to address in your response there. First of all, I just want to ask you, how do you think Iran will respond?
Usually, Iran doesn't respond directly or quickly. It takes time. Probably it will hit an Israeli, let's say, intelligence asset. I don't know if it's a person or a facility somewhere in the region. It could be in Iraq, as we said, in Kurdistan. It could be through an American asset also in the Gulf by the Houthis or etc. Or if Iran considers, but the if is big here, considers that this is trespassing a certain threshold, they could maybe launch a series of missiles from Syria inside Israel against an intelligence facility like Hezbollah did after the assassination of Saleh al-Aruri in Beirut a few weeks ago. But to kill a high-level Israeli officer from the intelligence or the armed forces is logistically and technically something difficult for Iran, which is in fact probably the core of the Israeli move here. It's putting Iran in a very difficult situation because it's taking hits that it cannot reply to. Usually Iran replies strongly to military hits. Here, it's a hit that is very targeted, very well conducted. The target is very well known, and it's really hurting Iran, because I think that the number of killed this morning was something that around 10 people. Probably other high-level operatives from Hamas and Hezbollah were present in the room and were killed with this Iranian officer. And in these cases, it's very difficult for Iran and its proxies to retaliate at the same level of, I would say, of hurt.
Yeah, and what about this happening on Syrian soil? Is there any chance that the President Bashar al-Assad would be willing to have his military take action?
No. This, I think, is out of the question. Bashar al-Assad has been taking the blows for years now. He knows that this is business as usual. He will not endanger his own, let's say, military asset if he still has some, because in the south of Syria, mainly the real operatives that are working there are Iranians or Hezbollah people. So he doesn't have the leeway to do so, and I don't think he will be interested in doing so. However, politically, this is cornering him because it's a way of telling him, we can keep on humiliating your regime by targeting the capital, because the strike this morning, to the difference of others, was in the heart of Damascus. So it's a way to tell him, either you yourself take in charge the distancing of Israeli operatives in the south, or we will keep on humiliating your regime by striking your capital without you being able to answer or retaliate, which is a political message that Assad will take. But I think that for Assad, the number one priority is his political survival. So I don't think he will bother too much of being humiliated a little bit more or a little bit less here or there.
And running out of time, so real quickly, do you think if Israel pursues more strikes like this, it could be a fork in the road with the U.S. supporting Israel?
Yeah. Now, this is another ballgame. You know that there is a strong tension now between the Netanyahu small team and the Biden administration. This will go on. Now, maybe if what we are witnessing means that the intensity of warfare in Gaza is going to decrease, probably the American could be satisfied with that. They would accept that the targeted killings are a good substitute for that. But however, fundamentally, the rift between the Biden administration and Netanyahu is growing about other issues that are longer term, that are more political, that has to do with the future of the Gaza Strip and the future of the peace process. So this is maybe a way to satisfy the Americans for a while, but fundamentally, I think the rift between the American and the Israeli administrations is gonna grow with time, especially now that the Biden administration is entering into an electoral phase domestically.
Joseph, thank you very much. Joseph Bahout speaking to us from Beirut. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.